Well, guys, this is it. This is the end of the Frogger. This is end of line, whatever you want to call it. In this one, we fix up the sound. I've got notes over here. We fix up the sound. We do the round restart. Score storage as well. So when we move on to the next round, we want to maintain the score. We do the boot up sequence and the attract mode as well. And yeah, and all of that finishes the vast majority of Frogger, or at least as much as I'm going to do for this project. So yeah, let's get started after the fade. Well, let's try and get this out the door in this video. I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to record everything as is. You might see me change tops and all that kind of stuff. I can assure you that there's no trickery involved in this. It's just that uh, I, I'm probably going to find it easier just to shoot videos when I can and then upload them when they're done. So that's what I'm going to do. Or at least I'm going to try for this little short while anyway, to get Frogger out the door. So I have these assets here, which I got from, I did a search on here and found this website here that's got a Frogger clone, which I can't play because I don't have Flash. Never mind. But it does have some of the sound effects. So I grabbed them. You can grab your own sound effects. That's where I got it from anyways. This website here, classicgaming.cc/classics/frogger/sounds. I grabbed them and I'm going to start adding them into the script. So I'm going to go grab just a script just to sort of start this. And we'll wait for this to load. Okay, so when we want to have like an audio controller, so we don't have to keep doing this. So I'm going to create an audio controller for that. So I have game controller there. I'm going to create add. I'm going to call this audio controller, and it's going to be a singleton. I don't think I have one of my handy dandy singleton doohickeys here. No, I don't. Oh well, it doesn't matter. So this is going to be a mono behavior, and I'm going to have private static audio controller instance public static instance. Oops. Controller instance. Why did that do that? Get. And we're going to say if instance equals null, instance equals GameObject dot find object of type audio controller. If instance equals null, var GameObject equals new GameObject audio controller. Instance equals go.add component audio controller. And then return instance. And so that's going to be our singleton pattern there. And then we're going to have public audio clip leap, public audio clip squish, public audio clip what is the next one? Splash. Public void play leap, and this is going to have a public, actually I just need a private audio source. So audio source get, let's have a private audio source. So audio source is where so what I'm doing here is audio source is going to be where we play these clips on. You need an audio source in order to play a clip. You can't just play a clip on its own. At least you never used to be able to. Yeah. There you go. So you need an audio source to do that. Your audio source, I'm just going to set it off so that it can play. If you want to do like mixing and things like that, you want to add it to a mixer. I'm not going to do that for this project. I actually have other projects that I do that in. I'm not going to do it in this one. So I'm going to say if audio source is equal to null, audio source equals get component audio source. So this is just a nice little quick way to get this as like a kind of helper function. Turn audio source. It doesn't automatically get it when you first start it. I mean, we could have put it in the awake, but never mind. Audio source dot play one shot, and then it's leap. Public void play squish audio source dot play one shot squish, and finally public void play void play drone, I guess it is. Splash, I think called it. Yeah, there you go. And so this is going to be our audio controller. We can get rid of all these. So our audio controller is super simple. We just have this singleton pattern. And again, I have a video on singleton patterns. Hopefully I'll remember to put that in the notes, but you can, I have one somewhere. I'm pretty sure I do. And then I have a member field for audio source, and that's just going to go and get the component from the current object, which I'm going to make sure is going to be there. And then we have these play late, play squish, and play drown. So if we go to here, we have our game controller. I'm going to add audio source, and I'm also going to add audio controller. And you see that we have a leap, squish, and splash there. So I'm going to, this is Frogger hop. So I'm just going to change these to hop, drone, and this is going to be squash. So just to give them neat names so that we can use them. So hop is going to be our leap. Should probably call it hop. Squish is going to go into there, and drown is going to go into there, and that's going to play our sounds. So when we leap, this is going to be in the controller here. So as soon as we go left, right, up, down, whatever we want to do, so we want to play our leap sound. So we want to do audio controller controller.play instance.play leap, and then we want to do the same thing down here as well. So when we move left or right, we play the leap sound. So I'm going to put this through optical, so I can hear it here, and hopefully you guys can hear it as well. So I have desktop audio turned off. I'm just going to turn it on. Save the scene, and this should play. So there you go. Oh, dead. So we need to, when he gets squished, we need to play the appropriate sound. So when he's dead, so move, blah, 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 kill frog. Well, that sounds good. So kill frog. Now, do we know if he's going to be, if the frog is going to be killed? So kill frog is in there, in river, kill frog, kill frog, kill frog. Okay, so I think we need to do in river, and then rule on in river equals false, so we default that to false, and we say if in river audio controller instance.play drown, else audio controller .instance.play squish. So we get two choices there. If you're on land and you get killed, it's a squish. If you're in the river and you get killed, it's a drown. So he's dead there. Okay. Let's see if we can kill him here. Okay, that's good. So that's that one. So now we need to do it when you get 5 home. How are we going to do this? When you get 5 home, so we need to play a sound as well when you win. So if I go to here, what else did I get? What does this one sound like? So this is extra man. Let's see if that sounds remotely like getting home. That sounds good enough. Okay, so let's drag that into audio. So I'll put that in there. And I'll call this home. Okay, so now I'm going to go to play squish, and I'm going to say public audio clip home, and public void play home audio source dot play one shot home. Okay, so now when you go home, when you enter home, which is the goal, then how do we do this again? Is this inside Frogger? I think inside Frogger. Frogger is home. So if it's goals occupied, do that. Otherwise, we want to do this. So instead of killing the frog, we want to play the you've got home. Audio controller dot instance dot play home. Okay. And I think that's it. It's moving far too fast, that one there, but never mind. Well, that didn't work. You know why it didn't work? Because I never set it to be what it was wanting to be. So go back to game controller here. See, it's none is the audio clip. If I set that to be home, okay, and now let's run that. Okay. There we go. That's a nice little tune when you get home. Okay. So now what we need to do is, do we have a game over? I can't remember if we programmed a game over. Let's see what we get. Let's do game over first of all. Let's do the lose one. So there's that one there, and then okay, game over. All right, so we've done game over. That's good. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is the win condition, and the win condition is when you have all 5 goals. So I need to know. We have a home controller, don't we? We've got a game controller, but I don't think we have a home controller. What's wrong with this? Oh yeah, okay. Do we not have a home controller? I thought we did. We've got home frame, goal 1, home frame. No, we just have that one there. Home frog. Death collider's there. Kill. Side curtains. Border. Oh yeah, we need to do that as well. So if you touch that kill zone, you're dead as well. So these all have to be kill zones. Let's change that to that just now. So untagged, let's change that to kill zone. So that'll kill all of those. And then we need to know if this has all been occupied. So these are all goal scripts. So I think the best place to do that is inside the game controller. So if I have public goals, and I go back to here, and I select the game controller, and I click on the little padlock to make sure that this never changes. And then for goals, I select 1 through 5, and I drag that over to there. So that sets all those goals there. And then I just need to make sure that each of these has been occupied. So I think I can do, what have we got here? Let's do void update. No, let's not do private. I wonder if we can be clever. Let's try and be clever. It always goes so well in a video. So what do I want to do here? I want to say for each goal, I want to check and see if it's been set. So I want to say goals dot can I do home using system dot generic collections.generic using system.link. And I can do goals.count, I think. And then I can count that, and then that gets that, and then that's going to be int complete equals goals count, and then I can specify g. Actually, I can just do g dot is goal occupied. That's one. So what is this I'm doing? Okay, what this says is go and count all the items in this list. So count all the items in this list where the item predicate matches this. So in other words, if the goal is occupied, count it. If the goal isn't occupied, don't count it. So at this point, we can get complete. So we can actually just do if goals equals 5 to do something spectacular. But for now, we're just going to print you did it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the game of Frogger, and I'm going to see if I can get this to show up. So I'm going to do that just now, and I'm probably going to fast forward it because nobody wants to see me failing 1,000 times at Frogger. So I'm going to turn the sound off though, so that you're not getting crazy distracted by the beeps and boops. Okay. Okay, clearly I'm not good at this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say if we get to 2 goals, then that's the end of the round. And then when I save this, I'm going to save it so that it's 5. Okay. What do I want to do? I don't want to maximize on play. Okay, let me play that again because we want to see the console light up here. Okay. All right, let's speed run again. Oh, this is going well. Good grief. Okay, so you did it is working. So that's good. So we know that when we get to the end, we can get to 5. So I think what we'll do is we're going to play the song. We're going to play a song, and then at the end of that song, we'll then reset the level, which basically means we'll just reload the level. Okay, we don't need that. Okay, don't need that. So the song that we need, I need to turn this back on again so we can get it, is this one here, which is the Frogger arcade music. So I'm going to download that. But the issue is that it's not perfect. Frogger music, do that, open with, no Audacity. I do have Audacity. Here we go. So I'm going to open it with this. Open down PC. Downloads. All files. Modified. Okay, because the start of this has got. Oh, that didn't work. What? Oh right, okay, that's why. Let me let me just put that out to here. Okay, so this is, let's get rid of that bit there. And then this bit here. And then we'll play all of it. Well, I can get rid of that. Good enough for today's purpose. So cancel, and I'm going to say export, and then this is going to be export as WAV file, and this is going to go into audio. Well, that's not good. Let's do that. And then this is end of round. So end of round is that. That is perfect. Let us close that. New. Okay. So now we need to go back to our audio controller, and I'm going to say public audio clip end of round. And then this one's going to be slightly different. So this is going to be public void play end of round, and then this is going to have action callback. Let's just call it action. So this is going to be some action that we perform when this is finished. And we're going to say start coroutine play end all round action. And we're going to generate method here. And this is going to be enumerator. Is I enumerable? Oh, I can't remember. Yield return new wait for seconds, and that's going to be end of round dot length audio source dot play one shot end of round, and what? What is what? What do you want? I enumerator, that's why. I knew it was that. And everyone's screaming at the monitor. There's no need to scream. It's my fault. I'm the idiot. So we're going to do that. And then at the end of that, we're going to say action invoke. So we play that, we wait for that, and then we play some kind of action. So the action that we're going to do is game controller. We're going to say audio controller instance dot play end of round, and then we are going to do scene manager dot load scene, and I think this one's called game, isn't it? Sample scene, let's call it game. So this is going to reload the scene. When we do that, I'm going to leave it as 2 just now so that we can test it. And then what else do we need to do here? Oh yeah, we need to go to game controller, and we need to drag end of round across to here. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see that. We need to drag end of round across to here. In fact, let me do that again. So that was hidden behind here. So we go to none audio clip and we drag end of round over to here. That's that. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to call this game. So I'll save as scenes, and we'll call this game. And then if we go to project settings, that's not the one. The one we want is build settings. Edit. Build setting, that's the one. And then we don't want that one, and we want to add open scene. In fact, let's just get rid of that one. Boom. Delete key. So scene there, that's fine. And so now it will reload once we get to the end there. So let's play some music, and let's see if we can get to do this without dying. We just need to get to 2. Once we get to 2, it should play the fanfare, and then we probably don't want it to do okay, I think we need to change something. Okay, what? That was weird. So we just need to do this once. The reason why we got that is because it's all playing there. So what we need to do is we need to say private int goals occupied. So goals occupied is that. So we want to say if goals occupied is not equal to that, goals occupied, then actually let's do var new goals equals that. So we want to say new goals equals is not equal to goals occupied. So if it's not equal to goals occupied, we want to play something. But we want to say if new goals equals 2, in other words, the end condition, we want to play that. Else, we just want to play the other one. So in our goal, in Frogger, we have this one where we play the home. We want to take that out of here. So instead of being in Frogger, we're going to put that in here. So when you go home, going home is when you increment the goals occupied. And then that's done. Goal occupied. Okay, so that's fine. So goal, that happens when this is set to be true. So inside Frogger, we set active, Frogger set active false, show Frogger equals true, increment score. So it should be okay. Otherwise, we want to do that there, and then we want to set that to be the new goal. So we want to say goals occupied equals new goals, and that should hopefully prevent multiple chimes from happening, because that's what was happening there. Okay, let's do that again. Right. Okay, one more. All right, and then that starts the next one. So we need to save the score, obviously. So let's do player prefs dot set int score, and then this is just going to be score. And when we awaken this, we're going to have to set the score here. So inside our awake, we're going to do var score equals player prefs dot get score get int score 0. So we're just going to default it to 0, and when we start the game, we're going to have to set this player int to be 0 as well. So I need to remember to do that. Okay, I'm going to turn the sound down just a little bit. In fact, I'll turn this one down here as well, so we're not going to get blasted by Frogger sounds. So hopefully this will remember now the score. So we're currently 340 and 440. So there you go, we're still 440. So we'll move up there. There you go. Okay, start to get here. So now we need to work on the main menu and what else do we need to work on? Yeah, we need to work on the main menu, and game over needs to go back to the main menu as well, which we don't have just now. So I'm gonna take a break just now, and yeah, I'm gonna take a break just now, and we'll move on to that video soon. Okay. So where do we go? So we got the game over. We've done that. Now we need to do this part here, which is the entrance, or the sort of the bit at the start, for lack of a better word. So I'm going to slow this down to quarter speed. So it does this fill the screen with zeros, and then it does this track here, and then the frogs come in. And then if I speed it up again to normal speed, you see that the frogs come in and they eventually swim out to the middle of the river and then change to FROGGER, like that, and then the points table comes in. So this is what we're going to build just now, and at any time you can just hit the space bar and it'll exit out to the full game. So I'm going to make a copy of this one here, and I'm going to call it boot. And so boot is going to allow us to boot's going to be the boot sequence, and then we're going to have this part here, which is the main table, pardon me, and then we're going to have this as a separate one. So I'm going to make a separate scene, I should say, not a separate one. So I'm going to do the save as, and then I'm going to call this one boot. And the thing I'm going to get rid of is, I don't know what this is. Not entirely sure. Oh yeah, I know what that is. That's the background screen. So I don't need that. We need the. Do we need the home frame? No, we don't need the home frame. We need the center walkway. Nope, we don't need that. We don't need the bottom walkway. We need the side curtains. Don't need the Frogger. Don't need that one. 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 And that one. So we don't need any of these things. In fact, we don't need the canvas either, or the event system, because we're going to do that completely differently. And we're going to get rid of the main control as well. So the only thing we should have is the river and the side curtains. So I'm going to hit delete here. Boom, there we go. So that's all we have is the river and side curtains, which is exactly the same as this here. If I make the side curtains a different color, but you can sort of see it. So if I go to the scene, that's what we have in the scene, and this is what we have in real life. So you can see that this down here is just the background color, and this is our side curtains here. So I need to create all the zeros that go in here. So I'm going to do create UI and text mesh render pro, and this is going to be all zeros. The font is going to be arcade. I don't know the exact size of the font, nor do I know where it starts. So I'm going to do canvas, and then this is going to be world space, and I need to go into the scene for this one. So this is down here, and I'm going to make it the same size. So it is 224. I think it's 224. Yeah, there you go, 224 by something or other. Let me just go up to here. 224 by 256. That's the one. And position is going to be minus. What is that? It'll be 0 probably. And that'll be 0 probably as well. So that makes sense. So that's going to get us to that point there, and then this one here, this is the new text here, which is going to be part of the zeros, or it's going to be the zeros, but we need to figure out the size of this. So this is also going to be full size here, and I'm going to make this the size of that area. And then the text is going to be dictated by how many zeros we've got here. So if we go back to this frame here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, it's 8. So it's 224 divided by 8, which is going to be a number. 224 divided by 8 is 28. So it's going to be 28 across. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we just need to resize this and get it to fit to match this. So we're nearly there. And one more. Boom, there we go. Okay, so it is 8. So I guess it's 8. No, 9. No, 8.1. 2. No, I guess it's 8.1. Okay. And I'm going to copy this a whole bunch of times. Like that. Like that. Oh, I've gone too far. I need to get rid of the bottom 2 rows there. Okay, so there we go. So I get 2 rows there. It's not quite right. You can see that it cuts off the bottom part there. So let's get rid of the bottom row as well. Oh, that's not the bottom row. Let's get rid of the bottom row this time. Okay, there you go. So we have this as our sort of start. So it does this kind of blanking thing, and then it does it flashes there, and then it removes the middle 2. So I'm going to make a copy of this. Duplicate that, and I'm going to hide this one here. And I'm going to take off everything except for the top 2. There we go. I did that to the wrong one, didn't I? Okay, so this is going to be the full screen zeros. So I'm going to hide that one, and this one is going to be the top row zeros. Okay, and then I'm going to make a copy of this one, duplicate that, and then for this one I'm just going to change the color slightly. So the color is going to be red so I can see it, and then this one here, oh, of course, because it's the material. Oh, I can't do that because it's going to affect everything, so I need to create another material for this. This is the downside of these things. Well, it's okay because I can see that there, so all I need to do is go into the scene and then just drag this down so that it kind of highlights over the bottom one there. It's going to be flicked out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let me just zoom in here. Okay, I think that's good. So now if I do, this is bottom row zeros, like that. So I go to the game and then I take out the full screen zeros. You'll see that we now have these 2. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to delete those ones. So to do that, I'm just going to have a script that does all this, that animates all this. So let me call this, let's create a folder in here called boot stuff. Let's call it boot stuff, and then this one here will be front wipe. So let's call it front wipe. and we'll boot this up. Or boot Visual Studio up anyway. We'll wait for that to boot. I've noticed that 19 doesn't take too long to boot now. It's still not quite as fast as like Visual Studio Code, but it doesn't take too long. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need the public game object full screen public text mesh pro GUI, I think it is. No. Game pro dot GUI, what is that? That's the one there. Okay. So I want this one to be the top row, public text mesh pro GUI bottom row. Okay. And to awaken it, I'm going to say let's start them off as being hidden and shown and all that kind of stuff. So the bottom row zeros and the top row zeros, they have to be hidden. The full screen 0 has to be that. And then I'm going to create a new empty game object here, drag it up to the top, and I'm going to call this one scene controller. And I'm going to add full, what was it, wipe? Front wipe, that's the one. And then I'm going to drag in full, oops. I'm going to drag in full screen zeros and top row and bottom row. Okay. And I'm just going to hard code these values here. So I'm going to do enumerator start. I don't need the update. And I'm going to do yield return new wait for seconds 1. So this is gonna wait for 1 second, and then it's gonna clear this and show the other two, and then it's gonna wait for a couple of seconds and it's gonna wipe them. So I'm gonna do yield for seconds, and I'm gonna say full screen dot set active false, top row dot game object dot set active true, bottom row dot game object dot set active true. So this is gonna get rid of that there. This is gonna wait for 1 second. It's gonna show the wipe. So it's gonna show this. It's gonna wait 1 second, and then it's going to show the other two rows. And then after a brief second, it's gonna then remove those rows, or remove each one of those zeros at the end. And I'm gonna do a weird cheaty thing for that. This is taking a long time to compile. I don't know why. It's taking its sweet time. There you go, it's compiled. Okay, and then when I run this, waits for a second and does that, and then we're going to clear those values. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to replace every single zero, zero with spaces, top and bottom. So I'm going to do for var I equals 0, I less than 28, I plus plus. Actually, let's do it the other way around. Let's do for var I equals 27, I less than, I greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. So it's going to go backwards through there. And I'm going to say var temp equals top row dot text temp I equals space temp. Why does it not let me do that? What? cp.set. That's okay. I think I can get away with this. So I can say, no, that's not what I was going to do. Okay. Well, okay, let's do var zeros those equals, actually it's going to be 26 because we're already showing that one. So zeros equals 0 times, can we multiply that? Sometimes things are easier in other languages. Pad right. Total width, padding character. Okay, let's do this pad right 26, comma 0, comma 0. And then we want to say var double equals, and then let's use some string interpolation, because why not? Zeros, zeros, that was, oh yeah, the row, let's call it that, and then say top row dot text equals the row, bottom row dot text equals the row, row yield, oh dear, return. So we're not returning anything, we're just doing it in stages. So we're going to go from 0 to 26. So we don't even need to do that. Well, yeah, we do. That's going to be I. So we're going to go 26. So it's currently 28. So we want to do 27, 26, 25, da 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 da. So we're going to do an empty string, and then we're going to pad it to the right with zeros for that number of, for I number of zeros. So it's going to do 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. We're then going to double it up using string interpolation here. And so string interpolation is just replace this variable inside the string. So you don't need to do this plus this string plus this value plus whatever it is. You can just put it straight in there. And then we're going to set the top row and the bottom row to be those values, and then do yield return null. And yield return null should be slow enough so it looks like it's animated. So we should get the full feature here. So the initial screen, or the initial screen setup in the wipe, and it's still taking its sweet time to compile. It's because I said it was faster, that's why. I guess we wait. I don't know why it's taking so long to compile. Okay, well, let me get rid of that. And this one. And that blank line there, that blank line there. And at the very end of this, we'll change the scene over and then do the actual frog motion. Come on. Okay, I think something's broken here. I'm gonna quit Unity and let me boot it back up again and see what's what. It shouldn't be taking that long to compile. It's like 4 lines of code here, so, or 10 lines of code, whatever long it is. It's not a lot. I may have to reboot my machine. Okay, there's something really weird going on here. Let me see what's happening here. Okay, we're 100% CPU. This is not right. I'm going to reboot my machine and we'll be back. Okay, let's hope that fixes that. So we play. Oh, it's a little bit too slow. Okay, let's speed that up just a little bit. Front wipe. Sorry, there's been a lot of jump cuts in this video, but it's just trying to cut out the fluff so that we get to the content faster. This is a relatively straightforward bit of code that we're doing here. It's not too onerous. It's just that it doesn't seem to, or I was having issues with the compilation there. Okay, that's kind of a little bit better. Let me just speed that up just a little bit to there. So yeah, that's how long it should take to compile. Okay, I think that's a nice enough speed. So we have our speed here. Okay, and then at the very end of that, we're going to load the next scene. So the next scene is going to be the attract mode. So that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the attract mode. So I'm going to do scene manager, which of course is in its own namespace. Dot load scene attract mode, and on there. And I'm also going to do build settings, add open scene, and I'm going to move that one to the top. So it's going to do boot, and then it's going to do the attract mode after this. So I'm going to do file, save as, scenes, attract mode, because that's all we're going to do with the boot mode, because every time you go back, you want to go back to the attract mode. Let me do build settings, add open scenes, and again that's going to go back to boot, attract mode, and then game. So when you boot the game up, it's going to go into the boot mode, and it's going to play this, and then it's going to see, it's just going to keep loading the attract mode because this is the attract mode here. So it's going to boot into this, then it's going to go into attract mode, and attract mode is going to do the rest of the the points table and all that kind of stuff. But I need to do YouTube and and so we go into here. No thanks, don't want premium. So we need these frogs to go to a specific point, and then we get to the Frogger part of that. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to work backwards. So it needs the 1-up and high score there. I don't think we actually have the 1-up and high score, so that's going to be kind of tricky to do. So let me do get rid of the scene controller because we don't need that for this one. This is the attract mode. We don't need the bottom. Actually, we don't need the full screen. 0, so we can get rid of that. And then we can change these to being visible. Then we can change that to 1-up and high score. So that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5n. So top row is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 dash up, and then high score, and then I'm going to copy this again, duplicate it, and I'm going to move it top row zeros. Let me move that down slightly, or up slightly, I should say, to there. That seems about right, so that'll be -8. Okay. and this is going to be our score. So our score is going to be 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 0, oops, 0, 1, 5. What am I doing here? 80. Okay, and then the next one is 1, 2, 3, 0, 4, 6, 3, 0. 0, 4, 6, 3, 0. It's not these values, but it's good enough for the purposes for this one here. You can fill in those values yourself. I wonder if I can change the vertex color here. There you go, I can change it there. So just change the vertex color there. That gives us that nice red, which is there. And then we need a credit at the bottom. So bottom row zeros, you can get rid of this one here, delete that. And then for this one, we can have credit 0, 0, and shunt this over to there, and then change this to that nice cyan color. There we go. Boom. There we go. So that fits in with these values here. So far, so good. So the next thing we need to do is we need to get the Frogger in here. So in order to do that, I am going to create an empty thing at 0, 0, 0, and I'm going to call this Frogger logo. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to call this logo. So it's going to be a blank object, but it's going to be the things underneath it. I'm not going to parent it to it. And the reason for that is because I want to know where it is in world space so that I can march these frogs out to that point and then display them. So I want to do, where's art? So here's our blocks here. So I want to have F, R, O, G, G, E, R. So that's what these are here. And so this is going to be 16, maybe 24. There you go, 24. And this is going to be 32, 48. Yep. Is that too far out? No, 48 is fine. 64, 72, 96, 96, 128. Now we need to move these all over just a little bit. Shoot, I didn't want to do that. Let me get this into the right place. So this is going to be Frogger. Each one of these are 16. So that is going to be Frogger. So 16 times 7. Where's my calculator? Calc. 16. Oh no, it's not. It's going to be 16 times 7, which is 112, plus 8 times 8. Sorry, 6 times 8. 6. 48 plus 112 is 160. 224 minus 160 divided by 2 is 32. So it's got to start at 32. But that's over here somewhere. So, okay. Let me just drag this out here. So F, so let's make that minus 80. Okay, and then this one is going to be minus 60. I don't think it's going to be minus 60, but let's see how we go here. Minus 40. They seem quite close, don't they? That's too far. Yeah, see that looks too close. So it's got to be underneath the 1 for this one. So that's too far away there. So it's got to be about here. Let's bring it up to about here. So let's say 80. I think it's probably about 80, and that would be minus 60. That looks about right. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. So then this one here is going to be minus 40. Minus 80. No, that would be 80. And then this is going to be minus 20. 80. Okay. This is going to be 0. 80. And this is going to be 20. 80. And this is going to be 40. 80. And this is going to be 60. 80. All right, okay. It's okay. So this is going to be, let me just spell this out. F R O G G E R. Okay. And we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did for this one. We're going to have a controller that is going to wait for things to happen. Or it's going to do a sequence of it. Wait for things to happen. Just talking now. It's going to do a sequence of events that's similar to what we have here. So we had this sequence of events where it waited for a second, it performed an action, and then it did a loop, and then it waited for a certain amount of time, and then it sent us into the attract mode. So we're going to do exactly the same thing with these frogs. It's not quite the right spacing, but I think it's okay. Although it's not too far off it, to be honest. Yeah, it's close enough. So none of these are going to be visible, so we're going to turn them off. But it's minus 60, minus 40, minus 20, 0, 20, 40, 60. So the math is easy, or at least the values are easy. So I'm going to go into my scripts folder, boot stuff, and then I'm going to call this one. Actually, we need the frog as well. So we need our frog, which I think has a controller attached to it. Home frog, frog player. It's already got the script on it. So we don't really want that script. But we do want this. I think we want to duplicate that, and let's call this attract mode Frogger. We'll call this attract mode Frogger, and we'll remove that script component because we're going to need it for something else, or we're going to not be able to use it anyway. So let's just make sure we haven't broken anything. So if I save this scene just now and then open the game, Hopefully we haven't broken anything, and the Frogger still works. Yes, he does. Okay, well, he still dies as well. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to go to open scene, back to scene, back to track mode. So the one that we want is a track mode Frogger. So a track mode Frogger, he should have all his animations and everything in there. So we should just be able to play with his animations and rotations and all that kind of stuff. So right now his rotation on X is that, but if we rotate on his Z 90, we can get that there. So that's good. So we don't actually need him in the scene. We just need to know that he's there. So I'm going to create another empty object here, and I'm going to call this scene controller. And again, I'm going to drag this to the top of the scene so I know where it is. And our boot stuff. So we have our spawn vehicle, wait action, boot stuff is not the right one. We want to have this as our attract mode script. So I'm going to call this attract mode. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag this into our scene controller. And our scene controller needs to know about the frogs. So when they get home here, they all jump up. Okay, so we need to know this. They all swim up there. G-G-E-R. Okay. All right, so they jump out from the side of the screen and go to there. I'm going to speed that up a bit because I think that's a bit slow. Okay. So track mode. Let's do private int. Oh no, it'd be private float. Position, or let me do x stops equals, and then this is going to be the values for frogger. Actually, let's not do that. Let's just have. Let's not do that. Let me do something else. Let me do public game object letters. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this, and then I'm going to click the padlock up there. Then I'm going to select these values here, and I'm going to drag them into letters. And it's going to say frogger. So now we have a reference to these. We now have a reference to the x values because we can get the transforms from there. And then we need to have a public game object frog prefab. So frog prefab, and the frog prefab is going to come in from our prefabs here. So we have our track mode for prefab. So I'm just going to drag that in there. So now we have our attract mode Frogger. So now we can set we can instantiate that frog. So we can do var frog, or current frog equals instantiate frog prefab, and then we can specify the position. So we're going to do new vector 3, and it's going to be let's put it right bang in the center, and then we can do quaternion dot either 0, 0, 90, so we can get them to face left. So we go back to here, save the scene, and run it. And we get a frog facing that direction, which is good. So it's not at 0. We need to make it at minus 16. I guess it would be minus 16. I think that might be too far down. Let me see. Maybe minus 8. Well, better if I did it the opposite way. I did actually say minus 16, and then I wrote in 16. I don't know why. I think it might be minus 8 anyway. It would also help if I used the right thing, and I did 0, minus 16. Because it's the y value I'm looking for. There we go. So I think it is minus 8. Let me try it again. One more for luck. No, definitely minus 16. Okay, well, good to know. Okay, so minus 16, and then we're in there. We also want to make that at, we don't want it to be in the middle here, we want it to be over here, and then we want to make the frog go to this point here. So we're going to do enumerator I equals 0. Well, actually, it would be var I equals 0, I less than 7, I plus plus, because we have 7 letters, 7 frogs for 7 letters. It's almost a musical. And we'll return null. Okay, so each frog, we're going to instantiate that, and then we're going to move it to a specific location. And that location is going to be the letter. So we're going to do, so we'll move it from 224, so it'll be 112. And then we're going to say while var target equals new vector 2, new vector 2, and then it's going to be letters I dot transform dot position dot x, comma, actually it'll be vector 3, and then it's going to be the y, which is going to be minus 16. And then we're going to say while var t equals 0, while t is less than 1, well, t is less than 1, var current, actually it'd just be current frog dot transform dot position equals vector 3 dot lerp, and it's going to be the start position, which is going to be new vector 3 12 minus 16, comma, and then the target position, which is going to be target at time t, and then t plus equals time dot delta time times speed, which is going to be I don't know, 50 pixels, something like that. And then at the very end here, we're going to do the exact same thing there, except this is going to be at time 1, and we need to play the animation on there as well. So we need to do current frog dot get component in children animation controller animation var anim equals that, and then we're going to do anim dot what are we doing here? Drag this out to here a wee second here. So we need to get our animator. That's the word I'm looking for. Animator, and then anim dot set. What is the animation? Frogger still. Frogger. Did I get to there? Settings, conditions, move. So we have move set to be true. Let me look at the where are we? Frogger. We have an animation somewhere in here. Set trigger move. Okay. Set trigger move. Oh, and I think at the end of the animation it goes out of it, doesn't it? Okay, so we may have to keep calling set trigger move. Set trigger move. Okay, we might have to keep calling that. But this is going to do go through each one of these and then place all the values up there. So that's going to be this one here, and then at the very end here we're going to do current frog dot transform dot rotation equals quaternion dot Euler. I'm going to reset the rotations as well, and that should fix everything. So let me get rid of this guy here, this one up to here, and nope. That did not go well. T is 0, T is less than... Oh, I know why. Yield return null. That should be yield return null in there. Okay, so... No. Oh wait, that's going to be... That's time, so that's going to be divided by 2? So if we did that over 2 seconds... should take 2 seconds rather than multiplying it by 50, which means it's really fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay. I mean, that lerp's going to work, but it needs to be a constant over the delta time. I'm going to leave it just now. I'm not going to worry too much about that. The animation, though, that's got to be triggering there. So every 4, maybe. Let me have a counter here. So let's do var count equals 0. Count plus plus if count 4 equals 0, count equals 0, anim dot set trigger move. So this should animate every 4th frame refresh. So we should at least get some kind of animation. Might have to increase the number. It's definitely only doing it at the end there, if count. Count plus plus. It's happening too soon. There you go, that's better. Okay. Alright, so that's all of that done. And now what we want to do is we want to move them to the X value, or we want to move them to the Y value. So, this is going to be done in this part here. So for that's for that one to there, that one to there, that one to there, and then we want to say var time equals 0 while time is less than 1. So we want to then move them up to the top part there, or where the FROGER is, and then once we've done that, we want to make them disappear. So to move them up to the top part, we're going to cycle through all of them and then update their positions. So the delta is going to be the distance traveled. So it's going to be exactly the same for each one of these. So it should be okay. So for I equals 0, I less than 7, I plus plus. So 7 because it's FROGGER. And we're going to go through each one of these. So the target position is going to be the known one, but I need to capture all of these existing target positions, or do I? I don't think I do actually. Let me think. I think what I want to do is I just want to add a slice until we get to that position. Okay. Let's just do it the same way as we did this one here. Keep it easier. Okay, so the well, we can speed it up a little bit. So we can do var, but we need to know each frog, don't we? So we need to have var frogs equals new list game object, and then we're going to do add current frog. So we're going to add that to the list of frogs so we know what these ones are, and then we're going to say var, no we're not going to do frogs I dot transform dot position equals vector3.lerp, and then it's going to be the current position, so it's going to be frogs I dot transform dot position, comma, and then the target position, which is going to be letters I dot transform dot position. So that's going to be that at time, like that. And then time plus equals time dot delta time. Okay. And that's us in there, so that gets us to that point there. and then we want to do yield return null, and we want to do the same thing that we got in here as well. So we can do var count equals 0. I think we can do var count equals 0. No, it's probably because it's going to be used. No, that's fine. And then we're going to have this one here. Let's do var count up here. Var count equals 0. And then just change that to count. And then this is going to be count here as well. And then we're going to say count equals that. And then this is going to be this here, current frog, but it's not going to be current frog, it's going to be frog's eye. So get the current frog in the loop and then set the trigger to be moved. But we want to do that for every single frog. So what we want to do is we actually want to have count plus plus var do anim equals false, and then we want to say if that is that, do anim. Oh, what's going on here? Equals true, count equals 0, that there. Bring this back, and I want to say if do anim in there. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay. And so that will then kick the values there. And that one there, that one there, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And now we should have marching out and then going up the screen together in unison. So F, R, O, G, G, E, R. Okay, well they all moved. For that one there, trigger that one. Yield return null. I think it's because it's the original positions. Okay, shoot. Oh, I don't want to store these things here. It needs to be, I want to do it in 1 second. So it's got to be the distance. So it's going to be var dist equals, and then it's going to be the start positions. So what the hell? I'll just do this. I don't want to do this, but I'm just going to do it for speed. So var start pause equals new list vector 3 for each var game object in frogs start pause dot add go dot transform dot position. So I'm adding all the positions here, and then I'm just going to do start pause I. So that should not make them leap up straight away. Okay, so come on out. Well, that didn't quite work, did it? We need to do divide by 2 for a start. And you'll return null. And then at the very end there, I see I'm doing the yield return null. Oh, because it's this one here, that's why. Ugh, it's got to be in here. That's going to take 2 seconds. And then at the very end, I still want to set them all to be at an actual position. So I want to say position equals letters, blah, 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 blah. I want to have that there. So this is going to set their absolute position at the very end of the animation, so that they're all going to be on the actual point. And then at the very end there, I want to do the FROGGER. So this should be the last one that we do this. And this is it. And then we go up to here. Okay, and then at this point here, we want to do FROGGER. Okay, and so what to do for var I equals 0, I less than 7, I plus plus, and then we're going to do, we want to wait for a second, yield return new, wait for seconds, we're going to wait for 2 seconds here, and then we're going to do letters I dot set active true, frogs I dot set active false, yield return new, wait for seconds 1. So we're going to wait for 1 second, and this is going to do all these things. You could do all this in Playmaker. You don't need to write code for it, but you can see this is kind of what the Playmaker would do. You would have a node, and then the node would then, do all these values here, change all these properties, and then you would have another node for this part here, and then another node for this part here. So you can sort of see how Playmaker does. Did I say Game Maker? I meant Playmaker. Playmaker does the job there. So this should move all the frogs up there and then change them individually into the different letters. And then that's our first part of the attract mode done. So I got up to here. FROGGER. There we go. So there's Frogger. And then the rest of it is just the attract, just the rest of the attract mode. So what we need to do is, where are we? We're going to have there's the rest of this here, but we need to do the points and all that kind of stuff. I'll leave that for you guys, but I will add the Konami copyright 1981 down there. So in order to do that, I'm going to grab a copy of this, and I'm going to put Konami copyright, and then this is going to be somewhere down here-ish. Minus 216, I think something like that, minus 216. That sounds good. And then this is going to be Konami, and then copyright. So we need to do char map, and then we go to arcade, I think this is called. Arcade normal, and then we've got a copyright logo there. So do copyright, and then we do copy, and then we do paste, and so then we have a copyright in there, and then it's in 1981, which is a very long time ago. It's not quite the same copyright as the other ones, but yeah, it's okay. and there's a couple of spaces either side of that. I've obviously done that to kind of pad it out a bit. And then what we'll do is, actually that's probably just too much padding, isn't it? And we'll just move that to the center, to about there, and we'll disable that. And inside here, we're gonna have public game object Konami copyright. So Konami copyright is going to be in here. Scene controller, Konami copyright, that one there. And then at the very end, we're going to have Konami copyright dot set active true. And we also want to have the points table. So I'm just going to do this as one single color, but you can, there we go. So we haven't implemented the seconds one, but again, I'll leave that for you. Maybe we'll come back to it. I'm not going to come back to it. Maybe we will. So we need to do this one here. So I'm going to do a copy of this one again. And this is going to be the point table. And then I'm going to move this down to here-ish. And then this is going to be point table, something like that. And then for each step, each frog home safely. 1,000 points by saving frogs into 5 homes. Plus bonus 10 seconds, okay. Plus bonus. Plus bonus 10 points times remaining seconds. And these have all got 2 spaces in front of them as well. Okay. Actually, I think I can do. No, maybe not. That was worth a try. Okay, and I think that's everything. So the point table there, and then the Konami copyright is down there. Okay. So the point table needs to come up a little bit. Let me see where Frogger is. So Frogger is here, so the point table, that can come up to here. 50 points. And it says it's there. That does not seem right, does it? I'm going to move the point table up a bit because it looks a bit weird down there. I'm going to move it to there. Like that. Okay, I think that looks better. So point table, that one there, that one there. So Konami copyright point table, that goes away, and these go away, and point table dot set active true, and we need to have public game object point table in there, and then in the scene controller we drag the point table across to there, and then I also want to have in update, I want to say if input.get key down equals space, scene manager dot load scene game. So we want to load the scene game, or we want to load the game scene if you press the spacebar. So when you press play, it'll do that, and you press spacebar and you're into the game. And when you die, so I need to go into game now. So when you die, we need to go back to the attract mode. So I'm going to open scene, game, and then game controller. Game controller. Where's game over? Okay, where's game over? Spawn point game over. Game over's true. Spawn point game over. Okay, so that's game over. Scene manager, load scene game, end of round, load the game, play home, update. Where is that being used? There's a game over canvas, game over. Where's that being used? Goals point, game over. Is it in Frogger? No, it can't be in Frogger. Approximate, controller, test, preview. It's gotta be game controller. Why is it not being used? I mean, when you die, game over, game over, game over, game over, game over. We should have done this at the start. Int, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, we need to do that. Player prefs get int score. We need to do that as well. So inside our attract mode, we need to do player prefs set int score 0. So every time you start the game, you start on 0. Equals equals 2, so that's going to be 5 instead of that. And then we load the game there. Game over is true. So where's game over being used? Game over's got to be used someplace else. If controller game over. Reset frog. So if it is game over, set game over object true. Okay, so this is in UI controller. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to then wait. So we're going to start coroutine, wait, and load attract mode. So we're going to wait and load attract mode. Enumerator yield return new wait for 4 seconds to scene manager dot load scene attract mode. Okay, so after 2 seconds, it'll show game over, and after 2 seconds, it'll go back to the attract mode. And we're going to do that there. Okay, so if we die 3 times, let's see what happens. Dead, dead, dead. And we go back to attract mode. Let's make it a little bit longer than 3 seconds. Or 2 seconds, let's make it 4 seconds. I think 5 is probably too long. Or maybe at least this will give you some kind of respite there. So we're at 460 just now because we haven't reset the score. And we get game over. So we go back to there. So the score's not quite in alignment, but that's okay. That's an easy fix. So if we press space, we should get that there. Okay, dead, dead. Okay, that is Frogger. So starting from the beginning, this is what the game looks like. So if I open scene, boot, so if I click on boot, and we'll see we start the game like this. So it does that, then goes into the attract mode, and you hit space, and you can start playing the game. And that's it. That is Frogger. The rest of it is up to you to enhance. That you're missing the snake. We're missing the countdown timer. But other than that, we have a full game of Frogger. So yeah, we're done. We're finished. Well, that's the end of that series. I hope you've enjoyed it. I had fun. It was one of my favorite games in the arcade growing up. That and Robotron, 2084 from Williams. Such a good game. I really enjoyed Frogger. I even had a little handheld one as well, which I was trying to look out for this series, and I can't find it. It's in a box somewhere when we moved once. So maybe I'll have a show and tell or something later on the channel. Anyway, that's the end of Frogger. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. A bit of a race to the finish to get to the end there, but it's finished now. So yeah, just going to work on the next big project after this. So if you want, you can also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification, all that kind of stuff. That helps me out and promotes the channel and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, thank you again for watching. I know this has been a long series, but we're finally done. So I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.